Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel Datacraft 111. So, I'm Ankita Chaudhary and I solve SQL based questions in my YouTube channel. So, as you would have previously seen in the videos that we solved Google engagement questions. So, today we'll be diving in some other Google case scenarios. So, today we are diving into this fascinating world of email organization and how data science can help us understand the user behavior. So, viewers, imagine you're a data scientist and you're working on the Gmail user experience research team. Okay, your mission. So, your mission is to figure out how people use labels to keep their inboxes tidy and productive. So we want to know how many labels do users create and which labels are actually being used. Also, how can this information help us make Gmail even better, right? So, to answer all these questions, right, we are looking at some real data. Okay, so let's start with this table. Let me click this table first. We have two tables, right? We'll first check out this email label table. So to answer these questions, like, we'll be looking into some real data, as I already said, right? So let's start with this table called email labels. As you can see, it has three columns, key columns, right? One is label ID. What is label ID? It is a unique identifier for each label. Okay, we have user ID, which tells us which user created the table, and then we have this created date, so indicating when the table was created. All right, so I hope you're clear with this. Like, let's just dive into this information. So we can see that the user 101, can you see this 101 created the label ID 1 on October 5, 2024, right? And then the same user ID, this 101, okay, it created the label ID 4, okay, on 2020 October 2024. So this table, it helps us track when and by whom the labels are being made. Okay, so now let's look at our second table called emails. This table connects specific emails to the labels that have been applied to them, right? Now it has two columns. First is the email ID. So this email ID is a unique identifier for each email. Okay, and then we have label ID. This label ID linking the email to a particular label. Okay, so we can see that email ID 1, okay, this email ID 1 has a label ID applied to it. Label ID, what is this? 1. Okay, then email ID 3 has label ID 2, and email IDs from 6, yeah, wait, from 6 to 10. Okay, if you can see, 6 to 10, all of them have label ID 3, right? So this tells us which labels are being actively used to organize the emails. So how can we leverage this data to address our initial questions? I hope you now have a good understanding of the data presented in this video, right? And are eager to see how we can solve these cases study using the SQL queries. So let me show you this question again. So as a data scientist on the Gmail user experience research team, you are tasked with understanding how users create and utilize email labels for personal organization. Your goal is to analyze the user label creation patterns identify which labels are actively effectively managing email communication, and uncover insights that can inform product design improvements. By leveraging data, you'll provide actionable insight to enhance the user productivity and streamline the email engagement. So these are the questions, and so this is the scenario that we are given with, and then we have three more questions. Well, this I'll talk about this later, but as of now, I hope now, like, you now have a good understanding of the data presented in this video, and you're eager to see how we can solve this case, right? Studying using the SQL queries. In fact, I'll be tackling this three specific questions, okay? So related to this data. So stay tuned for my next post. Bye bye, users.